Hi, I'm Evan with Right Rope. Today we are going to be learning how to perform a longberry eye splice on a 12-strand rope. We use the longberry for diameters 3/4 and above, and then a locking brummel for diameters 5/8 and below. So for today's splice, we're going to need the rope that you're going to be splicing. We're going to need some sort of whipping twine that matches one strand of the 12-strand rope. You're going to need an array of fids, scissors. These are Kevlar scissors if you're going to be splicing HMPE or Dyneema, a lighter, a Sharpie, and some tape. So to start the splice, you're going to take your appropriate size fid, which is 3/8 in this case, and mark 2 fid lengths down the end of the rope. That will be mark 1. Then determine the size eye that you want and mark adjacent to that for mark 2. And then go 3 fid lengths down the end of the rope and make mark 3. The next step is to insert this tail from mark 2 inside the rope down to mark 3. The function of this splice is like a Chinese finger trap, where the tension pulling on the rope keeps the splice in place. So using a fid that this end will fit in, insert at mark 2, staying in the middle of this hollow braid, being careful not to catch any strands. Insert it all the way down to mark 3. Come out just past mark 3 and pull it all the way through. Now we will remove the tape from the end of this rope. And we have to mark and taper this tail. So starting 3 picks in, mark a pair of rotating strands in the opposite direction, so it forms a V like this. And then skip a strand and mark another pair. And then skip one more strand and mark another V pair. We're going to pull each of these strands out and cut them off to taper the splice. Now that we have this tail tapered, we're going to pull this back through until we find mark 1 on the rope, which is right there. And then we're going to hold these together in place and milk this so that the tail disappears inside the rope. Now we are going to stitch these in place so that this cannot be pulled out. So using some stitching twine, which this is just solid braid polyester, we're going to go back and forth inside the rope so that this cannot pull out. Go back and forth throughout the rope, creating these lines of stitching that will hold the splice in place. Once there's 3 on each side, we're going to go back the direction towards the throat of the splice, going in where this strand comes out and coming out on the other side where this strand comes out. And it's going to create this box pattern. Once you get to the end, we're going to tie these together in the throat of this splice so that the stitching does not go anywhere. Cinch it down and then cut these ends off nice and close. And then just for safety's sake, we'll burn these ends so they can't go anywhere. Be careful not to burn the actual rope when you're doing this. There is your finished 12-strand longberry eye splice. Thank you for joining me today. We trust this has been a helpful tutorial. Make sure to like and subscribe for more rope content. We do actively monitor our comment section as well, so drop any comments you have down below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Lastly, if you need any rope, shop rightrope.com for the right rope at the right price.